pharma giant Eli Lilly found it in their rotten hearts to lower the price of insulin to just $35 a vial. Still feels kind of expensive to me, but in fact, it used to cost like an average $100 a vial, and that's average, and it's far more than any other country in the world. But Eli Lilly, and we'll talk about why they did it. They will cut their list prices by 70% for most commonly prescribed forms of insulin, Humalog and Humulin, beginning from the fourth quarter of this year, the drug maker said on Wednesday, and totally autonomously. All right. And they said, while we could wait for Congress to act or the healthcare system in general to apply that standard, we're just applying it ourselves, the company's chief executive, David Ricks, told CNN in an interview. Now, there's a number of things to point out here. Number one, that part of Joe Biden's Inflation Reduction Act, a small part of it, said that Medicare could negotiate drug prices and that no one who was on Medicare would pay more than $35 for insulin. That's, again, if you're on Medicare. And that's, again, not until the year, I believe, Raf, correct me if I'm wrong, 2024. So it's not even immediate. You still would have had to wait. And it's insulin and I think a number of other drugs. There's going to be price caps. And it's like, yay. I have a dad who's actually going through treatment and could really use some of that stuff now, like some of the affordable meds now. But no, we got to wait till 2024. Interesting. Eli Lilly jumps the gun on Biden and does this himself. But another little sort of curveball here, that back a few months ago, if you guys remember, when Mr. Lil Musky Poo unveiled Twitter Blue, where you could pay to be important or what you think is important and what you imagine is important with your blue check mark, and you can pay for that service. And of course, because there's nothing left at Twitter except for, random just dust bunnies, they're like, how to code, right? And they didn't make sure that you couldn't just change your name and buy a blue check mark next to your supposed name. And so here is a one, Raphael Shimonov, I think we've all heard of him, tweeting, in fact, what one account did, which was call themselves Eli Lilly and Company, and write, "We're excited to announce insulin is free now." Amazing. Like, first of all, I'm sure this was Raf halfway through the retweets that this got, because it was so good. So looks completely official. Raf, you had the idea to just, hey, let's just check in on the stock price of Eli Lilly after that tweet went out. Tell me how this came about. And then you wrote, did Twitter Blue just cost Eli Lilly billions of dollars? Yes. And you see here, there's a graph he screenshotted, and there's just a massive dip. What is this? November 11th. Yeah. Raf, tell me the origin of this and your take on what Eli Lilly's doing now.
Yeah, I think you're good to know that one of the accidental things that happened with Elon Musk's, Thunderdome hellscape Twitter theme is really like just this lapse in security, right? Like where anyone could be anyone. So there's this huge list of all these impersonations, Eli Lilly being one of them, done by anonymously at the time by my friend Sean Morrow. Nice. And he just decided, and he knew he could get banned. Like Twitter can actually ban your other accounts and stuff because now it has your identity and with your credit card. So he was just like, all right, I'm going to go all in. Right. And he decided to do what I say is the most successful troll in Twitter history, where this troll caused this plummet, also plummeted. I also checked it with other insulin selling companies and manufacturers, and they all plummeted. And really it demonstrated, it was interesting. All the tech, finance guys would reply to me and be like, well, technically this wasn't the because of this, it was that, and then the market's closed here and there, and it was just BS. And then in the financial papers started to repeat what I was saying, and then they shut up. And what you saw was the stocks plummeting everywhere, and really the analysis being that people are noticing. They can't really hide anymore, and anytime these things are going to come up, people are going to just be angry, and the laws that are going to be enacted because of that, the support Bernie's going to have to lowering them, support Biden's going to have to lowering them,
Yeah.
is going to be vast, and that's a risk for shareholders. And so they did this as a way to please some of their shareholders.
You mean the reduction, the $35?
It's $35, but it's to the insurance company, it's still thousands of dollars. It's for people who are uninsured, it's still going to be thousands of dollars. You know, it's I think it's like 30 times the price, something like that. From that one, that's just like the consumer end of it. And also they limit. There's a lot of fine print here. You know, you just never thank a corporation for anything. Like when Exxon was forced to clean up a spill, they actually ran commercials about how they're cleaning up the spill, and with this like angelic music. Like they just market on anything. And really, this preemptive move, I guess, is smart on their part to like kind of deflate kind of some of the legislators who might pass things. But generally speaking, you have to go through their portal, you have to sign up, you have to check your spam folder, you have to print the coupon, you have to do all of this process.
So it's still gonna be the thousands of dollars, but if you go through the right bureaucratic hoops and you
Through
put
their
in your
own
little
corporate
code,
website,
you can get a discount. Okay, so like everything in this fucking country that we're told happens under socialism, but actually just happens here under extreme capitalism. But I just, before I let you jump in, Maggie, like, do you think, I think that tweet had something to do with it? You just, they got called out.
Yeah.
And what is the stock market this fragile and idiotic that they're like, oh no, free, I guess I won't move investment. You know, like what?
I mean, if you show that a tweet could shake a corporation, like that corporation is going to, in effect, be shook. You know, like the shareholders will be shook, and they were shook.
They were shook. Maggie, what do you make of this move? Lowering the price is 30. Are we like happy with 35?
No. No. Like, how many people need insulin in this country? Like, isn't it one of the most widely used drugs out there?
Yes.
So we're charging people there. I mean, I'm a little bit biased because I'm someone who has been kicked off of a medication because it was too expensive. And like just having to go through and have your doctor tell you like, oh yeah, your insurance now saw one little tick on your blood test and they figure that they can put you on some cheap medication instead of the one that you've been using, that you've been needing, that's, you know, causing us 10,000 a pop. Like we can't do that anymore.
Yeah.
Like we were last month. Like they're looking for any little reason to want to kick people off of medication. And it's like, if that's what you're doing, are you an insurance company or are you a death panel?
Yeah.
No, at this point.
They are absolutely a death panel. And I'm like, I can't believe we're 10 years. What are we, over 10 years since the Affordable Care Act passed? And like, I don't know. It's a little bit of we had a conversation last week about the 4-day work week. You know, we've had, which we didn't get until like the early 1900s. So it's like, I think we can go for way more now. And like, we're back to like, oh, now everyone is mandated on this shitty ass healthcare. And it's shit. Like I pay through the nose and the same thing, the same runaround with your with the meds and all that. Anyway, 34.2 million people who have diabetes in this country. So yeah, it is very, very well common.
If we can't win on insulin for the thing that was created and then given for free back to society, saying that everyone should have this, sold for $1, the patent, something like that, something silly,
$1.
And if we can't win it with that on something that doesn't cost anything to manufacture, I don't know what we could win. So I think if we all focus on insulin right now, that could be kind of the gateway, you know, like the final straw, I feel.
Absolutely.
Or the beginning spark, I mean.
And I do think, you know, we'll talk about Amazon in a little bit, but I also feel like it's a lesson in when Bernie sets his mind to something, corporations get scared. You know, I mean, he effectively
he just never stops.
He just doesn't stop. You know, how long was he asking, you know, talking about Amazon workers needing a raise, you know? And then Amazon's like, we've decided to offer $25 an hour, but like, you know, just because we figured.
I followed Bernie through the country during his campaign, and people were, the number one complaint about Bernie was that every stump speech he said the same thing. You know, Amazon
Right.
must get more money. Amazon and everyone was just like, please, can you change it up? Can you change it up? But he's one of the few that get it, where every day there's a new person that hears you.
Yes.
So it's worth annoying people with the same message just to get that new person on board.
I mean, we're comics, Maggie, and I understand. It's your set list.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You got to bring out the bangers. People want to hear them. You end with your closers, and then you make more fans, and then you got to write a new hour. But like, you know, Bernie. But if nothing changes around you, then Bernie doesn't have to necessarily write that new hour.
You take the same set to Irvine, Brea. You take it to Lancaster.
Bernie
You
at the
take that
Funny Bone.
set.
Yeah.
Yeah, take it around. And he's on tour actually right now with his book. And my mom saw him. I think she was very proud that she went to go see him. She like sent me a photo. She's like, I'm seeing Bernie Sanders. And I was like,
Oh.
I did tell her that even though I did just have a kid, but I was like, if you put Bernie in the White House, I'll put a bun in the oven. Cause she was like, when am I going to be a grandma? And I'm like, if you help elect Bernie Sanders president, I'm having kids. And so now that it's Biden, I think it'll just be one kid. Anyway, what's going on, Frantifa? If you haven't already, subscribe to this channel right now. Hit that button. And also, you can become a patron and support the show every single week. Get access to bonus episodes and exclusive merchandise. Patreon.com/Bitchuation Room. Do